Tuna wageni watatu, Mheshimiwa Sebastian Kapufi mbunge, ambao ni wadau wa maendeleo kutoka Marekani. Wadau wa maendeleo kutoka Marekani, karibuni sana.
Container packed with supplies that need to make their way to families in Africa, like yesterday. You said this is a 53-foot trailer? This trailer is packed with medical supplies destined to the motherland. We need to help get these out of here.
What were you taught about marriage? Did it have you properly prepared for the journey or desperately frustrated looking for the nearest escape? I'm Shar, founder of Law for Love, the most special place in the legal system in Atlanta. And after navigating families through the court system for more than 13 years, we are now taking those lessons learned to serve and support families to build healthier, happier, more purposeful marriages. Join us live on YouTube at Law for Love ATL Monday nights for our family meetings. Yes, grown folk discussions.
Shalom, Salama, Siemi, Shalom. Greetings to all my Israelite brothers and sisters from around the world. Whether you're the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the house of Israel, or you're a Gentile grafted into the house under the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach, I welcome you this morning. This morning is Q2UA Discussions Live. Today is Quest to Unite Africa Friday. And this segment is dedicated to the mission of Quest to Unite Africa, which is to build critical infrastructure and economic development. Over the last, 14 months, the mission of Quest to Unite Africa is the same, but it's grown. It's grown to historical proportions, especially for an organization, a nonprofit charity organization that supports critical infrastructure on the African continent. I'm going to say, personally, I have been blessed to see how awesome the Most High is in how his organization is, because this is his organization. Make no mistake, make no mistake, no bones about it. And I am humbled to serve in his organization for his glory, for his purpose. Last year, we were going through some tumultuous times. And this year, it's now something very different. Because this year was, once we kind of got out of the turbulence and we started to level off, we could see how the Most High was putting things together. I'm going to start off a lot earlier today, family, with getting stuff in place. Thank you for all that's coming on in. Like, share, subscribe. If you haven't visited the Quest to Unite Africa YouTube channel, please visit that. Starting in the next, I'm going to say probably next 2 weeks. Next week is going to be very, very busy for me because as I will mention later on in this live stream why next week is busy due to a lot of activities that's going on. Right now, we're in the back. We have some folks new to our social media department that is now helping to get our social media component up and going. Sorry, family, got to get that tea in me with the honey. Because now the message is going far and wide. And so now we have to be able to show our community and beyond What is it that we're doing and what we're accomplishing and how we're accomplishing it? But as we're accomplishing those things, there's going to be a bigger push to show those accomplishments on the Quest to Unite Africa channel. So, in that effort, I will be doing the Q2UA inspirational moments. These will be daily clips, moments that's going to generally last 3 to 5 minutes each day between around 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is just a quick reminder with a quick scripture that helps to provide that inspirational moment, especially later in the day. I know that during those times, around 2 p.m., that's when I usually got hit, where it's just like, you're powering down and, the enemy is getting you at the job, the enemy's getting you with whatever. And it always seems to happen around between 1 and 3 p.m. without fail, at least for me and for most. So that's why I wanted to put that on out there, that you can all listen in, get a quick little tidbit, and then you go from there. So that will be starting here in the next couple of weeks. I hope to get it started sooner, but I want to give you that realistic expectation. Because I want to show something to you all, family. Let me share this screen. Okay, come on. I'm gonna share this one. Okay. So if you didn't know, Quest to Unite Africa has partnered with ADDI. That's what brought us on out to Burkina Faso by personal invitation of Dr. Ericana Shiambori Kwao, who's pictured there in your top left hand of the image, alongside of ADDI leadership. And there are some of the people that I interact with. To get things accomplished for different projects that we're engaging in. And so ADDI is actually the African Diaspora Development Institute. And as we have been able to interact with them, wow, I think since June was, or excuse me, not June, since January, that was official engagement interaction. But I'm going to tell you this. I have actually been interacting with ADDI since December of 2020. And the reason that I was interacting with them, That was when you first had Dr. Ericana Shirinbori interacting with the African diaspora, especially the ones in the United States. And it's interesting because she is a medical doctor. She's based out of um, Tennessee. And she is the former African Union ambassador to the United States. And so after her post, once you kind of give once you're done with your post, then you can be a lot more vocal because you have a lot more political tie downs when you're in a post for whatever governmental or non-governmental or extra governmental authority that you're operating in. And so during her time, she saw that we needed to do something. But it was the ability to kind of rally us. You know how we are. We're at that time, I'm going to say more so, we were hurting a bunch of, it was hurting a bunch of cats. As a people, that's what we do. That's who we are, or had been, because that's what we had been exposed to. So early on, this is when I had started off Covenant Awakenings. I think I was about 7 or 8 months in. Hadn't even thought about Quest Night Africa. I was just focusing on the program, focusing in on my issues, focusing in on what I was doing, where I was at, trying to really hold myself together. And the reason I was looking at ADDI at this time was because they had this Ottawa blockchain. Everything was blockchain. Robinhood and cryptocurrencies and things of that nature. That was big because we were literally right in the throes of the pandemic. So that was really my first interaction, but I wasn't really feeling that at the time. I mean, just to be honest, I wasn't. So, I mean, a lot of our community knew what was there with ADDI, but we really weren't concerned about that, right? At that time, man, we were concerned like, wow, prophecies hitting, prophecies hitting, prophecies hitting. So I just want to say to everybody, congratulations that we survived this week, especially with, a potential nuclear standoff or conflict. But there were a lot of things that was really dormant, I'm going to say. Dormant. And there was a dormancy because you would hear things and then it was just, okay, well, all right, cool. I was on their news on my personal email. I was on their news distribution. I'd always see something. Some things would look, oh, okay, cool. And then I kind of overlook it. But it wasn't until earlier this year, Brother Walt had said, Brother Karras, have you thought about reaching out to Dr. Ericana and her folks? And I said, I don't know. And then a couple weeks later, actually, that wasn't from Brother Walt. Brother Walt wanted to put the seminar on out there for the Invest in Africa seminar. And I said, okay, that sounds good. And he was like, well, we just have to find someone that can, have a good headline. And that's where we had some folks that we personally had known. And that didn't really pan out very well. But what did pan out, there was an individual that's a volunteer with us even today. He said, full disclosure, I have interactions with ADDI. I said, yeah. I said, I'm on the mailing list. I was a member as a student. That's how I was. So I was just one of those passive members, just seeing what was happening. And he said, no, you need to have this organization as an active partner, and then we can go in and we were able to get things together. We were able to get things moving. So from that member's fateful conversation of, okay, this is how you approach Dr. Ericana. Okay, we started rolling down the hill. And the thing is, we were told, this was her main effort, her main objective. And that was in the back of our minds. Oh, okay, Burkina Faso, cool, great. Well, we're operating in Tanzania, you know, with some things. And so we prayed about it. We engaged Dr. Ericana in her meeting. I was able to provide the 30-second pitch of Quest 2 Night Africa and what we do and how we do things. And she agreed to be in the seminar. From there, at the seminar, we are invited to go to Burkina Faso, and that's where Garth and I had gone subsequently 6 weeks later. And as Garth and I were there in Burkina Faso, we were able to really see the lay of the land. We were able to understand what the needs were, because it wasn't just the needs of Burkina Faso. It was literally the needs of West Africa. And while over there during that course of time, Dr. Ericana had grabbed my arm and said, Karis, I need you to listen in and take lead in this. And that was the infrastructure piece. As Garth can attest, I was over there getting an idea, breaking down some basic analysis, and providing basic recommendations. But I was there to ensure that we were having the exposure for Quest to Unite Africa and what we have for our Region 6 Council for Diaspora Affairs as our operations arm. And so after we left, we weren't even on the plane. Literally, Garth can tell you. I'm here at Ethiopia, trying to figure some things on out. I'm contacting the board. Hey, um, they're really trying to get this thing started. And I get back, the board tells me, Karis, you and Garth need to rest for about a week so then we can go through and get this stuff taken care of. Because, they knew, like, as soon as I stepped foot, I wasn't even literally inside my apartment. And and I'm getting blown up on WhatsApp. Don't talk to Red about WhatsApp. Red hates WhatsApp. I'm throwing Red on out there. But we had to do some coordinations, and literally it was about 10 days later, we're off to the races on the coordination efforts, getting people together, getting pieces together, because it was crazy how the Most High literally sat me in front of the people that we're dealing with right now. And the crazy thing about this is there's only about 2 people in the photo that I had not personally met in this flyer. Now, this flyer is for their ADDI Zoom call, which is happening tomorrow. But the event for FASO Days is occurring June 22nd and 23rd. And of course, family, you know what I'm going to be asking? I need your help to support this event. Of course, that was it. Because of the things going on in the background. I can't tell you everything that's going on in the background. I just can't. The only thing I can ask is please understand that there's work that's being done in the background, and we cannot tell you all the work because that's just not wise. Understand the work is happening. So when you have people saying, oh, well, they're just on over there asking for money, well, there's a reason. Because we're working on providing services to the Burkinabe government or the government of Burkina Faso. We're working on providing critical infrastructure and economic development recommendations. And it starts with your health because health is wealth. So I wanted to provide this piece right here. Because I'm going to show you the relationships that we've established with the government of Burkina Faso, what we're doing. You're just getting a little bit of a taste of what we're doing in the background. Let me show you this. This doesn't. You're this doesn't go to everybody. This doesn't go to everybody. This is official Burkinabe government letterhead. This was produced 2 days ago. As you could tell, there's a blue stamp for June 12th, 2024. And I'm just going to read the personalized. You see the letterhead, you see the numbers, they hand stamp this. All this is hand stamped. This is literally hand stamped. This isn't just a mass fabrication that goes out to everybody. You could see that they literally have in the top left, that's a control number. If you didn't know what that is, control numbers, when you're doing these type of diplomatic communications, control numbers are utilized to show that there was a document that was sent, and here's the document, and here is how it was transcribed, reposed, stored, all that good stuff. This is official letterhead. Ink and paper. And stamps. And if you don't know about the continent, they love their stamps. They love their stamps. So this letter, for those that I know are listening and may not be able to see the screen, after you get through the letterhead, the white horses are significant. That's their symbology for things. With the cross spears and the Burkinabe flag. It says to Mr. Karras Copeland. That's my official government name. That's my government name. I know I'm putting it on YouTube. Oh boy. Man, let me go Google this brother. Let me go. I know these internet sleuths are going to be on out here. President for Region 6 Council for Diaspora Affairs. That's our operational arm. That's how we operate. That's how we get things done. That is our for-profit. On the continent. That's how we move. That's how we operate. Below, bolded, capitalized, centered, and underlined. Invitation to support and participate to FASO Days, June 22nd and 23rd, 2024, in Washington, D.C. And it has, Dear Mr. Karras Copeland, the diplomatic missions representing Burkina Faso in the United States of America are organizing on June 22nd, 23rd. That's where I'm going to be at. Most High willing. That's where I'll be at. That's why I say most High willing. I can't do any of these without your support. The organization, we can't do any of this without your support. Don't think that this letter just comes out because, out of the kindness of the Burkinabe's heart, the mission of Quest to Unite Africa, is just, we asked and here you go. No. Literally over the last 3-4 weeks, we have been going nonstop. And we're doing that even right now today. In the background, You could talk to our board members. You could talk to our directors, what we are doing, how we're planning. You're not going to get all the plans. You're not going to know everything we do. But I'd like to have you ask yourself and have you pray about this. Is the Most High really opening up all these doors for Quest to Unite Africa? See, the other week when I was asking for support and things of that nature, because we do our funding drives, this is what it is every Friday. Someone in the chat had said, I would like to support, but my trust. I'm not telling you to trust me. I'm telling you to pray about it and ask the Most High to give you understanding. Because no matter what I try to present, that doesn't matter. You all saw the photos of me right there with President Ibrahim Traore. That doesn't matter. You all see the diplomatic invitations to go to the Burkina Faso embassy in Washington, D.C. It doesn't matter. Because here's the thing. It's the Most High's mission that's going to be done. For those that hear and take heed, hallelujah, thank you. Thank you for supporting the mission of Quest to Unite Africa. Thank you for supporting these missions so then we can do a work. Because if you didn't understand what is getting ready to happen, and in this program, you realize you can see this. Artist performance, Burkinabe, Malians, and Nigerians. Why would they have all the performances here by those members of the Sahel region? Oh, you can't even see it, my bad. Right there. So understand, more than likely, panel on the security and humanitarian situation Burkina Faso. More than likely, that is probably where I will be participating. But again, I tell you, I would like to have your help getting there. There's my schedule. That's where I'll be at in DC. Looks like I'll have some time on Sunday before, I would say, at least 5 or 6 p.m. before the gala to do a meet and greet with our people in the DC area. That coordination, it does take time and effort. And it is in less than 10 days, just to kind of let everybody know. So that's what happens in the background. There's work that's attached to this. It's not just, oh, I'm going to give it to you just because, we like you, you're articulate, blah blah. No, there are meetings that go on. There's calendars and schedules that have to be managed. There are Zoom meetings that have to be coordinated. There's time zone considerations that have to be um, administered. There are a lot of things on in there in terms of building out contracts, performing the contracts, understanding the logistics, telecommunications and IT concerns, understanding the administration from manpower and human resources concerns, i.e., talent management. There is a body of work that happens in the background. So, in order for this to be provided and to have been provided, there's work that we're doing in the background. But when you're doing the work that the Most High needs you to do, these are the testimonies that the Most High provides. What are you doing in Q2UA Africa? How are you helping? How are you doing the work? Look, there it is. This is the invitation because this is the work that's happening. This is the work that's being performed. This is the work that's going on. And family, let me tell you, this is not to be taken lightly. And I pray that we all realize this. This isn't to be taken lightly. So, family, if you can support this event, I ask that you do. This is going to be around $3,500, $3,500, $3,500. Because there's some considerations that has to be done going to this event and then coming back from this event. There's work that has to be done. To check in on our operations in Atlanta, and to do some behind the scenes work. I'll put this on out there. I would say, let me make sure. So where you could have those donations earmarked. I would say do the, don't, please ignore the amounts here. It's just a way that we can, separate out the pot for the funds so they can be earmarked. Because you're going to have a counter. That was from the last trip to Burkina Faso. So let me share my screen so we can all get an idea of running total. Let me share this screen. Okay, I just put this in the chat. This is going to be the Quest to Unite Africa. This is a link, the Burkina Faso trip. Please disregard the bar. Okay, so let me just, I'll even break this on down to you. Right now, the total says about 13,235. I would ask if we can get to around 17,000. 17,000. Because I'm not sure how long it will take for Red to reset this. But if we can get to around 17,000, that means that that's a little over 3,500 to meet the goal. And yes, family, will need to meet that goal very quickly because I still have to make arrangements in DC. So that is the website. I'm putting the call on out there. I don't know what to tell you. If you can support it, you can support it. If not, then hey. Then pray for us. And it is to go to the embassy of Burkina Faso in Washington, D.C. for that visit. So if you go there to that website, please ignore the total of raised and goal. Please ignore that. We need to raise around 17,000, and we'll try to have that fixed. Our resources, especially for website design, things of that nature, we're pretty limited. So when we do get these invitations, that's literally less than 2 weeks away. That's like darn near impossible because it literally takes about 2 weeks to address this. I had a discussion with Red about something yesterday. I said we need to, start getting this trip on out there to let folks know about the trip. And Red said, "Yeah, that's cool. We'll have that done in 2 weeks." I'm like, Red, the trip is I have to be in DC the 22nd and 23rd. And he said, "Oh, okay." This is hard. We're trying to do things where we have volunteers helping us. Volunteers helping us. We don't have 6 or 7 people on a full-time staff. We don't. It's literally by the grace of the Most High that we can do what we're doing. Because, family, let me tell you this. Each week, we need about $5,000 to operate every week. Each week, we don't meet that goal. Because let me tell you, there's other opportunities just like this that we would love to get to, but we don't have the budget. We don't. Opportunities in Atlanta, opportunities in Dallas, opportunities throughout the United States and even on the continent. So we have to be very conservative in terms of how we engage and how we interact and how we're involved. If we're able to take care of things internally, then we try our best to take care. If we can't, then guess what? Things have to be kicked down the road. Yeah, and Coco G's right. It is 2 fish and a loaf of bread. That's how it literally is around here. Brother Karras keeps asking. Brother Karras keeps asking. Yeah, I do. Because why? Because the work is being done in the background. The work is being done in the background. And I get it. Everybody wants to talk about what's going on in Florida, what's going on in this, what's going on in that. I'm going to tell you something. Do you know the difference between us and Gentiles? The Gentiles see what's happening and they don't tell you that they see what's happening. They do their planning, they do their work. They support each other, and they do what they need to do to support each other, instead of having to go on out and try to beg and try to sell. This is why it's needed. This is why it's happening. No, that's not their curse. Not yet. That is getting ready to be their curse, because everything that was run on to us is going to go back onto them. But no, what they're doing is they're showing you how good life is in Rwanda. Because why? Because somebody's supporting them. They really don't have to ask questions. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see what's happening. Okay, easy. They'll go ahead, they'll write a check for $1 million if they saw something like this. Yep, I believe them. Yep, perfect. Yep, I see it. Yep, there it is. That's a no-brainer. That's what they always say. It's a no-brainer. So yes, our general fund is to operate. That's to make sure that this website up and goes. This stuff is not free. Most of our budget literally goes to IT. It goes to be able to support these ventures, to support these efforts. Zoom cost, Teams cost, websites cost, emails cost. I don't know where I can find 2 cans and a long enough string to send on over to Burkina Faso. Yes, yeah, Sister Coco G. Exactly. I've seen that too. You need $500,000? There you go. You need $1 million? There you go. I see the effort, and I know that my money's going to be well spent for the cause. We be showing you tidbits of what we're doing. And even when I'm showing you, the board is going to get mad. You didn't need to show them all that, Brother Karras, because of security and this and this and this. I get it. But we do have a fickle people. I don't know. I don't know about it. I don't know. Have you ever seen a memo from the embassy? Well, no, but I'm sure it doesn't look like that. But that's our people. And understand, when I come on in here and I'm asking on behalf of the organization, that's exactly the spirit that I have to deal with. Brother Karras, Brother Karras. It's a spirit of interrogation. And I get it. Because when people see that things are worthwhile and things are working and things are moving and people are actually doing what they said they're going to do, oh, I know. I cannot believe it. These people actually have the integrity that they're doing what they're going to do. And they're showing us it. Oh my goodness. What a novel concept. I know. And that's pretty sad. That's sad that that is the state of our people. Well, why can't we build a Black Wall Street? Okay. Well, why can't we get together and build enterprises? Okay. Because even if the person's doing work and they laid out the game plan and they showed you the whole portfolio program and project, you'd be like, oh, that's not happening. And you show the people that you're working with and you show the documentation because you're intimately working with them to get things done, to get these opportunities. It'll never be enough. We perish because of what? A lack of knowledge. And knowledge is to learn, and learning is to learn how to trust. You want to know what they told us for these last 400 years? Not to trust anybody, including those that look like you, sound like you, talk like you, walk like you. Oh, and even if they're showing you that they're doing everything right and everything above board, and they're showing you what they're doing, still don't trust them. Can you believe a black person? No. Even if they sound like they know what they're doing, even if they're showing you the results, you still can't believe them. And that's really the saddest reality that we have amongst our people. That is the saddest reality. What work do we do in the background? We work on critical infrastructure and economic development because I can't tell you anything more because folks will try to sabotage it. Isn't that sad? I can't even report all the great things that we're doing. I literally get told by the board, Brother Karras, don't say too much. I would love to share all the wins and all the successes that we just had this week. And I can't even say it because there's people in the background ready to sabotage and ready to throw a monkey wrench in this. If you didn't understand that you're living in the land of your captivity amongst your enemies, understand the enemies don't come from them. Most of the enemies that we deal with, they come from us. Let that be a sobering, hard-hitting reality. Oh, you all are doing that over there at Q2UA Africa? Cool. So let me go sabotage it. When I do these Q2UA Africa discussions, honestly, this is the only time in my Monday through Friday that's a burden for me. I'm just being real with y'all. I don't need to lie. I've even told that to the board. Can you find somebody else? They can just use the platform, the channel. Can we find somebody who would want to take on over for these Fridays? This is the only day that's a burden for me. I wake up on this day, I wake up tired. I don't look forward to this day. Please support Quest Night Africa. Please support Quest Night Africa. What are you all doing? What's going on? What's this? What's that? Please come to our Sunday meetings. Please come. Why? What are you going to tell us? What are you going to say? No, transparency is negotiable because if you hadn't seen what this organization went through last year, yes, transparency is negotiable. And things won't be transparent all the time, but it is transparent when you're actively getting things taken care of. Yes, it is. Man, we've gone through this as an organization. Get kicked, you get spat on, you get your name drug. We go through all this as an organization. Folks get tired. They want to quit. They want to give up. Literally, even in the middle of getting ready to ink out a deal. Because I'm going to tell you, them white folks, they will just say, here you go. You're doing an excellent job. Keep it up. Here you go. Oh, I trust you. I see what you're doing and I like it. Don't you want to hear the whole presentation? No need. Yeah, my personality was never driven on asking for help. That was not my driver. My driver was actually doing the work and then let the work speak for itself. This is a different work. This is a work that will wear you out. This is a work that pulls you in all sorts of directions. Because why? Because everybody at different times of the night will text me, will put me on WhatsApp. By this time of the week, I'm done. I'm exhausted. I would rather be talking about how Sergei Lavrov is going into Africa and talking to a lot of these African nations. He's on a tour right now. I wonder what they're talking about in secret. I'd rather be talking about the Malawian helicopter crash. Kind of suspicious to me. So, yep, that's what we're doing. Let me put the screen back on up of why I am canvassing. So for this, it's just going to be me. Brother Garth had some prior commitments that was going on for that time frame. So I jumped the gun on that. It is just going to be me going to DC at that time. So that's why I've been asking, because this is opening the door to so many other things. So that's the donation where if you would like to send the support, and we'll go from there. So, moving on. We will be hosting a Tanzania Town Hall featuring ministries and professional leaders. I'm in the United States. We're not talking about going to another country. This is the United States. I'll be okay. I've been to DC a couple times. I just don't like DC. I'll be okay. I'll be all right. I'll be good. Now, if I'm going to another country, yeah, there's going to be a little bit more of a press. But yeah, no, sometimes you just have to look, people need breaks. People need breaks. And if you don't break yourself, guess what? The Most High will break you. So as of right now, it's just myself going. as an official representative of Quest to Unite Africa. So that's that. Let me get back here to the Tanzanian Town Hall. Tanzanian Town Hall. This date is tentatively scheduled for June 30th. June 30th. It's going to be around 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That will be held via Zoom. That is an event that's under our cultural engagement team. Our cultural engagement team is sponsoring that event. Shout out to all the work that they do, because this is what this was for. You are going to be able to hear it from the horses' mouths. From the ministries. We're going to have about 2 to 3 ministries that's primarily focusing in on the way that you do business and that you conduct yourself in Tanzania, the expectations, so you know how to operate. And you're hearing it from the horse's mouth. And again, this event is free. Free, free. But we ask that you register for the event, because space is limited for the Zoom, because our cost for Zoom licenses is not free. That's the give and take. The event is free, but the space is limited. So we will have details on that one within the week. It will be really worth your time to hear it from especially ministers that have given up their time to provide us with very pertinent information. That's a blessing. But what this does is it shows that's the relationships that we're building. Understand, when we're able to do things like this, understand there are relationship efforts that we're building in the back end. People just don't show up because, hey, I'm here. No, there's relationship building, relationship working, networking, and other pieces that go into place. Which is ultimately what we want to provide as a nonprofit. Free resources for our community. That's one of our goals. That's one of our commitments. But it takes the help of our people so we can then get to that plateau, to get to that level. And understand there are vast differences between how land is looked at and how business is conducted between West Africa and East Africa. Vast differences. And we deal with that every single day. You have to deal with things regionally. There's a difference in the thought process when you're dealing with Eastern Europeans and Western Europeans. It's different. North America. Well, Mexico is definitely different from the United States. I mean, and that is the level of miseducation that we've had as a people. Yeah, we may be quote unquote technologically advanced, but we're highly, highly miseducated. Kind of an oxymoron, right? Technologically advanced, but horribly miseducated. And that is literally the condition of the oxymoronisms that we deal with. Don't worry. I was a quote unquote educated fool also. So at this event, we will discuss doing business in Tanzania, addressing cultural conflict, and hearing directly from our brothers and sisters on the continent how we can build together with more understanding and mutual respect for one another and our differences. That's all that is. Being able to collaborate and coordinate and communicate with our brothers and sisters on the ground. Volunteer signups. Thank you again for those that are volunteering. We appreciate your efforts. They are a big deal to the organization. Our leaders are in the midst of reaching out to our volunteer signups so we can get you started on the onboarding process. Thank you again for your support to Q2UA and joining us in this amazing work. It really is. I see a lot of organizations that are trying to do and work, and you can tell there's something that's missing, right? It's like when you're tasting a soup and it's like, okay, it's soup, but it's kind of bland, right? It's not palpable. And a lot of these organizations really miss that because really, when you have the Most High involved in what you're doing, everything just seems to flow together. We are also continuing our economic development initiative with another event launch coming very soon. And with these economic development initiatives, we're looking at regions. We're not just talking about Tanzania, we're looking at other countries too. Because let me tell you, with 55 countries, that means that there's 55 places for opportunities. But we have to be cognizant and mindful of how we operate in those areas. If you're a business owner in our community, please reach out to us on quest2uniteafrica.org to discuss how you can, or how Q2UA can promote your business. And let me tell you, that's business promotion that's not just here in the United States, but that's there in the continent. Whatever you do here, let me tell you, it can be done in the continent. There's a lot of opportunities, family. And again, we appreciate your support. To meet these goals, to meet these efforts. It'll get done. Trust and believe it'll get done. The Most High does never has us lacking. That's what I know. That's what I've learned in this time. But understand, when people ask, well, what are you doing? How are you doing things? Look, this is what's happening. I know. This week, we saw some things south of Florida that was unfamiliar to most people in the United States. Because I know people want to get on out there. Well, when this thing's going to happen? Well, when's this going to happen? Well, okay. If that's what you're concerned about, that's what you're going to be staring at. If you're looking too much at the TV, then how are you ever going to be prepared? I'm just saying. Do you have your toothbrush pack? No. I was looking at the TV. Do you have deodorant pack? No. If you had kids, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And for a larger majority of our people, that's what it is. I don't want to get ready. I don't really want to help. I don't really want to support. I know one thing, what the word says, that you have to be hearers and doers of the word. Hearers and doers. And if you have a problem or you don't have understanding of what that means, the simplest solution is get in prayer and ask the Most High for yourself. That's it. Get in prayer and ask the Most High for yourself. Because for me, I'm going to do what the Most High requires me to do. and keep moving. Because it's awesome to see how he continues to move doors and open up doors and move mountains. These are some mountain moving initiatives. So I'm not going to be worrying myself about, okay, please help, please help. No, that's only going to be for a season. When I'm not up here asking for help, asking for resources for Quest Unite Africa, that's when you're going to really need to start paying attention. Oh, something's really going on in the background. That's when y'all need to start paying attention. They say, how come Brother Karras isn't really asking for help with stuff? How come the organization, what's happening? What's going on? What are they doing? Did a Gentile see what they're doing and drop that $500,000 check? Did they drop that $1 million check? Because the awesome thing is that honestly, the check is really in the mail. There's just a few things that we have to straighten up. That's how the Most High works. So, family, that's all I have. I always cut these short on Fridays because we got some things to do. Got some meetings to attend. So got some work to accomplish because in Africa, it's usually wrapping up about this time. So we have to coordinate with Mike and coordinate with some folks over in West Africa and go from there. Yes, family, the work, it is a lot. It can be daunting. It can be frustrating at a lot of times, but honestly, it's the Most High that's providing. Even when provision may not necessarily be there in some cases. Continue to help us meet our organizational goals. So, and I know that there's limitations for folks. So, for those that can, thank you. For those that can't, pray for us. Pray for Quest Unite Africa. Because the prayers of the righteous availeth much. And so, with that said, family, with that, shalom, salama, siemi, shalom, peace and blessings, Yasharel.